How's it going, everyone? And welcome to the Bodyslam TNA post show. Bert here, and as always, I'm joined by my good buddy Io. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Feeling great, looking great, eating great. What can you say? But also still chilly here on the east side. But what else? How about you, man?
Well, there's always that kind of the point in like a movie or TV show when like the guy, is really sad, and you just cut to that scene when he's just at home in a
Yeah,
robe. After that ending tonight, I'm a little sad. I got my robe on. I'm feeling a little down.
yeah.
But,
I'm a little confused and upset too. But yeah, I'll let you continue.
we're gonna talk about. We got a lot to talk about, and me and you had mentioned like, and we're gonna get into it first right ahead. Despite the ending tonight, there's a lot of positives to be excited about with TNA, like in general, and it started way before this show, and that's where I want to start. Man, talk about whether it's re-signings, locking down talent, or we're gonna start right here with, I guess you could call it injury news, but a positive. Many people saw Ash by Elegance is clear to come back for full to compete. And so now it's like, let's get right back to where we started from, especially with giving her promo tonight. So I think this is very happy news for a faction that was just ready to hit that next gear. What do you think about this? This is great fucking news.
Yeah, beyond happy. I always said too, like this group was just hitting its strive. Like they all had just held the titles. Maggie and Em and Heather, like they're hitting their stride right now, so to speak. And yeah, unfortunately, yeah, the rug got cut off under Ash. When she just won the title, and then just bragging about saving the title from NXT, blah 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 and stuff. But yeah, it's funny, but it's funny, how progress and time works, and it is a major speedy recovery. And she did say that she will talk about it in in due time. Hopefully, we at least understanding what was going on. But in the meantime, yeah, happy she's back. Good things are going for the brand. Yeah, they just added Mr. Elegance, so the brand's in full force. So yeah, and she's in action next week in six person action. So we'll see.
I'm reading I'm reading our good buddy Shane's
Yes.
message right now. And Shane, I'm gonna address that too. Yeah, I agree with you on the most.
Some of those names I get, but like some of them, like hey, they're kind of proving their words.
Uh-huh.
Some of those names mentioned are still, at least they're kind of proving the words. But we'll see.
Yeah, and we're gonna get more into that, but I want to go back to what you were saying. Yeah, this is great news. Like, it's awesome to see someone that really had found their stride. I'm singling out Ash, who's coming back from injury. This is awesome. You know what I mean? Because it would have sucked to see her career be permanently over. So this is
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, couldn't be happier.
yeah.
Next, I kind of want to move into the signing news. Yeah, staying with the Elegance brand, I believe we saw earlier in the week that Mr. Elegance has been signed. I think that's a great move, a good move as well, because you would like to. That gives you confidence that this isn't, a short term thing. Hopefully, this is going to be him in this group is going to be a long term thing going forward. What do you think about this one?
Um, yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. I mean, prior to Ash getting, not competing, like I did feel like they needed to kind of like do something different with the group. So, so yeah, adding in, and plus it's been talked for a while, like when they're gonna add in like a dude in the group and like, kind of like blend that whole, you know, blend that whole male and female attraction. You get what I'm saying, but like so, yeah, bringing him over. I mean, he looks good, I guess. So we'll see. We'll see how much of he's like how much he can add to the brand, obviously. So besides looking good, so we'll see. But yeah.
Just want to agree. Just want to address Shane real quick. I hope everyone knows, like when I talk Ash, and like me, like I'm never saying or never alluding to like that she's like the best worker, like that. But what I'm praising for is like a combo of things that it's big on. First of all, it's TNA continuing to sign people that really weren't doing much and figuring out how to squeeze some sort of watchable, like something watchable and that you could put on TV. And like, given what they were doing with Dana Brooke and WWE, I didn't think that was possible in TNA. So for them to find something that not only works for her, but seems to be clicking, people are a fan of it. I'm certainly a fan of it. Again, I'm not saying she's the best worker, but that's where I'm giving praise to, because she found her niche in TNA. So that's where I want to give praise to.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I'll say about Ash, like she's not really doing this just to kind of like how to put like Shane had mentioned, she is a hard worker. Like I feel like she's someone that at least didn't really get a fair share, so to speak. And I mean, I think like anyone who's been watching the Dana Brooke and all this stuff can agree. But like her coming in, I was on the fence of it, but then when I really pay attention to like how she interacts and like how she's committed to this character, like you kind of feel like, yeah, you know what? I think we did kind of missed about and especially for a company that's especially for a company WWE is all on characters, like they would have, if they would at least kind of I don't know, maybe at least gave her like a storyline. I don't think she ever had a storyline, but it's with her. But at least we can say for the past 2 years that she's been here, like it's been very fun, and I think and the Elegance brand too. Like I mean, obviously the personal concierge, like we gotta give that dude his credit. Like without him being the the Bobby Heenan. I mean, no, sorry, the Bobby Heenan-esque, I guess you could say, to Ash's Medusa, and I'm not comparing Medusa to her. You know, get what I'm saying? But like, they both have a good. They both clicked, and then they were able to kind of bring in members into the group, and it's here it is like to what it is today. So yeah.
Yeah,
and that's a testament. That's a testament to all the members, but also Ash too, because like I said, she's very hardworking, committed. So at least I'm glad that she's kind of at least getting an opportunity to show people what they missed out on. So
yeah, no doubt, he definitely adds something to this group. He definitely is one of the things that make it work. I completely agree with you on that. Finally, we're going to move into what I would say is the biggest signing of them all. TNA announced that they have signed Bear Bronson, and I think that that's huge. And we're going to talk about it in the beginning of the show, but man, the presentation of this guy already is through the roof. You know what I mean? Like he didn't have to say anything tonight for this guy to look like a beast and look like someone you need to watch out for. So I was very thrilled with this one.
Yeah, this dude's gonna be a difference maker. I'm glad that he's also part of the system to kind of bring that whole young I think he's the youngest out of the group, but like that whole young and then unorthodox, the best way to describe he's unorthodox and then kind of into the group. And also it makes sense he was trained by Brian Myers, obviously, so that kind of links in it too. So but also I was impressed with the match he had with Frankie a couple weeks ago and stuff. So, and of course, we know his story and this and that. So that's what I love about like this company. Like they're the ones that are at least to like give that that helping hand, when not many people want to, so to speak. So it's a testament that they must really see something in Bear, and then I think he's gonna wow some people.
And we're gonna talk about this like later, but especially when given to what happened later in the show, which has got me so down. These are the kind of signings that I think TNA need to bring in, because I think this more aligns with let's face it, the direction that TNA is as a company, and what, again, I'm speaking for myself, I'm completely fine with the way that they go. Like, this is not, I'm not buying into the talk of this company trying to be number two or competing with it. I could give a shit about that. You know what I mean? Like, but what I do think what they're doing is that they're going to continue to be the place where the future stars of this business are going to continue to compete in. That's what TNA's always been. So Bear Bronson, Jada Stones, the Mila Moores, those are the people, the Mila Graces, like the Hotches, the Skylers. Those are the kind of people, the Leon Slayers. Those are the kind of people we're going to continue to see in TNA. And so Bear Bronson, I love this signing. You know what I mean? This was a great one.
I will say this too. Like, yeah, like you need that blend of mix. Like, very few veterans, and then a bunch of rising. Very few veterans, current experience, and like rising stars. So that way, like everyone's kind of helping each other and stuff. Like that kind of what separates. Because in NXT, everyone, everyone's pretty much, with the exception of Ricky Saints, Ethan Page, Hendry, all that, everyone's kind of like on the upbringing and just new, coming out of college, whatever and stuff. But you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's TNA. Yeah, TNA is that company that you need experienced vets to kind of like help groom and improve everyone else. So yeah.
And you put it best in, I think, one of our group chats like earlier in the week, like having the mix of like people who have nothing left to prove. You know what I mean? Like you put it great right there. Unselfish vets, and they've always had that.
Unselfish vets, correct? Yeah, correct.
People who are not like, they're already like Hall of Fame, whatever bound. You know what I mean? Now they're just trying to, like, whatever you want to pad their legacy and give back. You know what I mean? And TNA's always had people like that. And yeah, they're good. That's kind of the glue of the roster as well, mixed in with the future talent. But then when you look at the people we just talked about, and then group it with everyone else that TNA's kind of made, the moves they've made, like how would you kind of like grade like their progress, like under this new regime, like this new TNA?
Well, based on who they are able to retain and recruit, I would say maybe a 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
a 7 out of 10. I think that's fair because, well, for starters, they wasted no time trying to get Trey Miguel back. That's because I guess it kind of proves that, like, it was just basically like a whole group trying to leave at the same time. But obviously, that didn't happen for Trey. Yeah, TNA was able to kind of bounce back. I mean, kind of respond quickly and get him. So that was good there. I would say the knockout when it comes to the knockouts division in particular, I think we've been on quietly a slow improvement, if you say at least. Like, we have newcomers like the Jada Stones, the Mila Moores, the Harley and Mila Grace and all that, and then of course you got the known talents. Obviously, I mean Elena Black, which we'll get into later. Who else? Well, I mean some known faces. Some known faces. So like I mentioned, like it needs to be a blend of experienced vets, known faces, and then rising up becoming talent. Because like, I mean, as good as you are or as young as you are, there's always going to be a flaw. You get what I'm saying? Like, and you need to kind of have someone to kind of have that cover, but someone on the roster or the team to have that basis covered. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, and I'm right there with you on your grade. I would say that what would take it to maybe an 8 or a 9 or possibly 10 would be the addition of like another seasoned vet, or an upper indie talent.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah. No, like top stars, they're kind of like, as far as in TNA side of things, like it's gonna be like at least once in a while, or very not
Mhm.
much, like getting top of names. Obviously, Tommaso Ciampa, one of them. I mean, he just debuted in AEW, but like TNA, this is why TNA needs to be different and be creative on like who they're creating, or finding that right pipeline. So, but yeah, I say 7 out of 10 because they're at least they still think of the future. I mean,
Yeah.
like they're still thinking of the future, and like who can they build upon, like despite what folks think, like, oh, like they're just pushing ex WWE talent names and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, what I would suggest, I think maybe adding at least someone into that realm, maybe Sammy Callahan, because I mean he's already in the company and he already runs Revolve, so, and he has a good eye of talent. Because like with Scott Demore, I mean, folks can say whatever, when his time there, like he was able to at least find some of these talents, outside the U.S., and kind of like bring them in. Obviously, the Joshes, the Speedballs, the
Uh-huh.
Leon Slayers and stuff. So with him, obviously with him gone, like this kind of like felt like we need to find something to kind of fill that void. But for the most part, yeah, I'll just say 7 out of 10 so far.
Yeah. Again, I'm with you on that one. Agree. And like I said, either another seasoned vet or who is a name still with recognition, you know what I mean? But again, like unselfish vet or a top indie, which there's plenty of them out there, you know what I mean? You need to find that guy or woman who haven't been signed by the big two, but should have been, for maybe because, and they're not, maybe because just the big two, like I think everyone would agree, are very top heavy right now, roster heavy
Yeah.
to begin with. So, there's not a lot of room in those two companies. Okay. Before we move on to the show out, do you have anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I think it's not gonna stop there. More signing news will probably more signing news probably coming, because I think right now they're just kind of like settling in the roster, you know, and stuff. I know it's crazy. Like they should have just got this out the way before New Year's, but here we are. So, but yeah, I think more's to come.
Agreed. And there, like I said, there are a lot of people out
And
there who
mhm,
are TV ready, but just haven't got the opportunity. You know what I mean? Are ready to be in a bigger spot, but just haven't got the opportunity.
mhm.
Okay. Before we move on to the tonight's impact, I just want to remind everyone this week's show is sponsored by Shroom Bar, the protein mushroom bar. It's made up of psychedelic. It's made up of not psychedelics, but 4 powerful mushroom adaptogens. It has lion's mane, which increases memory, which increases focus, memory, and neuroplasticity, making it easier to form new patterns and learn new things. Next time you're trying to learn that new move, it might actually stick rather than forgetting it immediately. It has cordyceps, which increases VO2 max, blood flow, and overall endurance. It has reishi, which decreases stress. It has turkey tail, which boosts your immune system. And we all know you're going to need that when you're on those nasty ass gym mats. On top of all that is 12 grams of protein. Go to eatshroombar.com and use code Bodyslam at checkout for 25% off your first order. Okay, let's get a nice show, which, there might have been some lows at certainly at some parts, but I think there was a lot of highs to begin to with this show, and we're gonna start right at the bat with that the system promo. Man, you had them walking in the back looking like $1 billion, and then just the entrance, different music, a lot more like kind of heavier music, way more heel presentation. These guys just really look like top heels, you know what I mean? Badasses. And they came out, and like I had mentioned earlier, Bear Bronson didn't have to fucking say a thing. And already that guy looked like a beast. The way he moved around, he just looked like that's the heavy. And let me just say, Cedric didn't have to say anything either. I hope he gets promo time. But Cedric, to me, he's like, I'm not gonna call him the wild card, but he could be the ace of any group. But I can't wait to see his dynamic in this group, because he's, you know what I mean? You could have him in the X division, but you know what I mean? He's the guy that's going to go out there and going to have, put in the most ring time. You know what I mean? This is going to be the worker of the group. I couldn't be more excited for Cedric. but I love this group as a whole now. What a complete 180.
Yeah, it felt like as you know, as the quote, as the saying goes, yeah, system resets, and that's exactly what we got. Like new logo, new theme, new attitude, new everything kind of feels like an upgrade from. Um, I'm glad, like it was mainly Eddie and Myers doing the talking because they're like the kind of I guess the co-leaders of the group or the spokes or I'm sorry, the spokespeople or whatever. But and yeah, this was kind of great. It was kind of good to kind of open up from what we left off last week. Yeah, as they mentioned, yeah, as I kind of predicted the reason, yeah, Moose was kind of like in their mind, Moose was kind of like selfish or blah blah blah, or oh, you don't know how Moose is, like basically kind of like the way they chant Moose and stuff, like oh, you guys don't know how he is, backstage and blah blah blah, and then with JDC, they hit the nail there too. Like the only reason that he was on the system is just kind of to like ride their coattails and blah 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 and stuff. So yeah, this is very I like how I kind of like how they got to the point, like basically kind of like all four guys, they didn't all four of them didn't need to talk, like as you mentioned, like basically kind of like get their message out. And you mentioned Cedric, yeah, ironically he still has an X Division title shot coming, so he's gonna be like the wild card unorthodox member of the group. And so would Bear Bronson. But yeah, the main interesting is that Alicia came out. Obviously, she wasn't really on the fence of like what they're doing and stuff, and then Eddie, the husband, tried to kind of like put her in her place, and so to speak. And then she kind of fired back. One thing that was interesting, she did mention that her contract is coming up. Yeah, like you heard that.
Mm-hmm. I did hear that, and so what was interesting about that too is that it came out right before the show started, and they're already working it in. So that's really good timing. I like that.
Yeah. Our buddy Mike Gilbert in the chat. Yeah, yeah. Well, we're gonna get to Macklin again later, buddy. But yeah. I think it's the right move for Alicia to kind of like split off, whatever Eddie's doing and stuff, and kind of like build a little refresh, kind of little. It's a refresh for everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I think it will be interesting to see this group without Alicia because, yeah, like, she was cutting a lot of the promos with the old system. And, after that, the heel promo from Eddie tonight is not only one of the best promos I've heard from him, but yeah, he's much better as a heel. And this promo, yeah, he did such a good job. Like you said, he cut AJ, just the way he cut down JDC, very skating. Yeah, like you said, we all kind of saw that as a kind of not predictable thing to say, but you knew that's where he was going to go. You know what I mean? Because when he joined, JDC joined, it kind of seemed like he was just trying to ride the coattails of the system. So that was very good. And then Brian Myers at the beginning. Oh man, this was great.
Yeah.
Okay, let me. But just and then overall, I want to say before we move on, I wanted to get you. What do you think this is like? Agree with me? Would you call this like an upgrade for the system? Are you rocking with this new version?
Definitely. Because I think we kind of agree, like they were kind of getting a little stale, like by last year. Like I said this when Moose lost the X Division title. Like, what's next for this group? Because you know what I mean? Because they already won championships and da da da. Like they won some matches, they lose some matches, and then once after they lose, the lost the X Division title. Like, what's next for them? And then of course they feuded with Order 4, and then you think, okay, what's next? But when going in when they said they were gonna have like a new member, I was kind of thinking like whoever this has to kind of like twist, turn things around for the group. But this went above expectations. So yeah, I'm definitely satisfied with this.
Yes,
Because now,
exactly.
yeah, like the twist of like two members being kicked out and then replacing them with two new people who are very good wrestlers. So like I think it's kind of very yeah.
Yeah, I that's what I'm saying. That's like where
And
it
plus
becomes.
oh sorry, and plus
It's-
oh my bad, one more time. Plus to kind of shift things up, like Eddie can now move up to the world title scene. Maybe Myers and Bronson be the tag team, and then Cedric the X Division. Or yeah.
yeah, like you said, I agree with that as well. Great points.
Yeah.
But it's one person, them kicking out one person. Yeah, that's a shock, especially because we knew it was going to be JDC. But combo that with them kicking out Moose, yeah, this made this a very big swerve. You know what I mean? Like a good swerve. So, and like you just said, I look forward to kind of the roles switching. We're going to get into it later with the Feast or Fire briefcases. You know what I mean? You just alluded to, yeah, Eddie moving up. We like you had mentioned Bear Bronson being a Brian Myers guy. That's a very easy to see tag team, which I would like to see that. And then, yeah, Cedric is the X Division guy. This group is perfectly placed now. And before, it was kind of just like a group of old grizzled guys, you know what I mean? Now it's got a great mix of veterans and young guys. So I like it a lot. Okay, next we're going to move on to just a quick BD promo. And just before the match, and let me just say, the more I see of this guy, and yeah, he needs to improve in the ring, and he's going to. But again, I just keep kind of pointing out to this is not like Logan Paul in the terms of this guy's getting a lot of reps. You know what I mean? Like he's on TV a lot, and whether it's promos or again, he's going to have a match we're going to talk into. This guy's growing on me.
Yeah. Yeah, BD, yeah, he's I can see why they brought him in. He's very coming to his own. Shout out to King of the North. Yeah. Much love, buddy. Thanks. He's coming into his own. I think he's been wrestling for a year now and stuff. But I was very impressed, the match he had with Nemeth tonight. And Miguel mentioned you got to work on those punches. You also gotta grow back, so to speak. Like we're getting too many skinny guys on this in this business. No offense to them. I'm not body shaming anybody, but you know what I mean.
No, we're gonna get into it right now. We had BD taking on Nick Nemeth, and let me say this: this was a fun match. A good opening match. BD impressed me. He moved great. Yeah, Miguel mentioned it. He needs to work on his punches. You mentioned it. Yeah, he needs to bulk up a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah. But again, he's gonna be there. He's gonna go into a wrestling body. What is he, only like 26? This guy's gonna get bigger. And
I mean, someone in the locker room's gonna give him the tip and stuff, and then hopefully, I mean, usually skinny guys, they if you're in the roster for that long enough, you're eventually gonna have to but he'll get there. No, again, we're not body shaming. Yeah, chicken and rice diets, as North mentioned.
No,
give him AJ and Drew's number, like Shane just mentioned.
Yeah. He's gonna grow into that body. You know what I mean? Well, hopefully, you would like to think. Hopefully, he gets bigger. But Nemeth, these are the kind of people you need: guys and women who can pace people through good. These younger guys, girls through good TV matches. You know what I mean? And this is what this was. Nemeth gave him a lot, leading up to again. We had the frog splash, led to a very very near 3 count. And then we had the finish of Nemeth catching that cutter and turning it into the danger zone. Man, that was a sick finish. Really like this one a lot. I was really impressed.
Yeah, that was very good. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Nemeth. Nevitt, he's been doing this over almost 30 years now, I think, and like he still can work with he can still hang with these younger cast and stuff. But I thought this was good. Yeah, yeah, man.
I want you to answer King of the North question, and then I'll take it. I'll answer after you.
Do they think his online presence justifies TV time? That's a good question. Well, if they know, well, if you pay attention on TNA's YouTube channel, like whatever content BD is on, they link his YouTube channel with they link his YouTube channel too. So I think yeah, I would say for now, whenever he's on screen, they justify because they want that TNA. They still want that younger audience, and I think that's what BD has, the younger demo and video game whatever demographic audience. I'm not saying he should be on TV every week, but like whenever he is on, it's a big it's an important thing, I guess, in their mind. But
yeah, that's kind of a line with what I was going to say. I think they do justify it because I think that's the younger audience, the different audience, the people who might not watch wrestling but watch him. They're looking for new viewers. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the name of the game now that they're on a bigger channel. So, yeah,
I agree. Like, if he needs to find a new finisher, you're gonna mention, springboard cutter. A lot of people are doing that.
They're just looking for new eyes, and they have to because this ain't Access anymore where Anthem was okay with that kind of built-in audience that TNA had that really didn't fluctuate too much. It didn't really dip, but it really didn't gain much new audience eyes. So yeah, like they need, they're hoping I would think that they could bring in some of BD's audience to the product. Okay, next we're gonna move on to it was the national title match with Stacks and Hometown Man.
It was a non-title.
Not non-title. I'm not gonna. There's other things to say. I'm not gonna come out here and shit on this match because I think it was more about the finish and what transpired after. But this match didn't blow me away. It really didn't do anything for me, Io.
Yeah. I don't know why they. I don't know. Well, I don't know what was the point of this match, but I mean, the main thing is the storyline. Like, so, like, what's going on here? So,
exactly.
Ariana, I'm confused here. So, like, last week Ariana confronted her dad, apologized, and said, I guess accepted apology or whatnot, and apparently, obviously Stacks is now down with that. So apparently, Ariana's trying to convince. I don't know. Ariana's trying to convince her dad, like they're. I don't know. Like I think she's trying to convince like that, like they turn a new leaf, so to speak, I guess, and. And obviously, I don't think Santino's buying it based on this backstage segment later, but yeah. Anyway, pointless match. Hometown man, obviously, yeah. But I mean, yeah, this was just basically just kind of like a filler match, I guess. But yeah, I guess that's kind of the main thing. Ariana wasn't really down with Stacks cheating, I guess. But what's your take on this match?
No, this is where I'm confused because I hope they're not planning on turning her again because I didn't think she was like turning face last week. I thought she was just trying to apologize with her dad and kind of mend the fence there. But I thought she was still full heel with Stacks. This was confusing to all hell. Like she didn't want to watch him cheat. She didn't want to find out if he cheated. Like it really made no sense. And to King of the North's point, I really, really hope that that's not where they're going. That we don't need to entice the LOTNA crowd and give them fresh ammunition. And that would fucking suck if he won the title. I don't think that's where they're going.
I I think that's not what they're going, but we'll get into the international title later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Okay. Next, we're going to move on to what I would say was another fun match, man. And it was Elijah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I know.
Yeah. Okay.
It was Elijah taking on Jason Hotch, and again, this is kind of one of the guys I mentioned. Guy's going to be really big in TNA soon. Put him in the tag division, the X division. Even beyond that, who knows? But this was a really fun match, and I'm glad Elijah's back because before he was hurt, and he's continuing to have, I would say, the run of his career in terms of he's in a company that fits him and that where he fits the best. And yeah, I really love this match. Again, you had the constant order for interference, but I don't mind it because that's what this group is kind of built on. But this was a really solid match.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I'm glad. Yeah, Jason Hodge was able to kind of get a good match out of Elijah. Uh, yeah, Hodge. Yeah, Hodge is underrated. Yeah, I always keep mentioning time to time again. Like one to kind of keep your eyes on. But yeah, it seems like they're continuing the Elijah Ali feud. Uh, someone asked like how long it's still continue. I think it's going to until Ali gets the guitar shot because remember there's a couple times where Elijah was close of kind of like getting his revenge, hitting the guitar shot, and then Ali kind of prevent escape from that. So I think they're just gonna like keep dragging it until that happens. So we'll see. But yeah, this was a decent match. I like that. I like that. Yeah, Elijah's finisher is the tombstone. I forgot I forgot what he calls it, but yeah.
The fade to black. No. That's not what it is.
No.
Oh, it's like something down the road. Damn it! It's something like.
Well,
Someone?
yeah. I mean, someone in the chat, who knows the finisher, the Elijah's tombstone. I don't know, but yeah, I think it was a good homage, to Taker, I guess. But yeah, that decent match.
I completely agree with you, and yeah, Hotch is more than underrated. Like we shouldn't even call him underrated because I feel like it's so. I think people are starting to come around on how good this guy is, and yeah, Elijah, like I said, him in TNA, yeah, it's working out very well. So he just continues to, prove to me why I'm glad TNA brought him in. Okay. Next, we're going to get into just a real quick, what I would call a tremendous babyface promo from what we saw of Jonna Stone. Man, TNA found a gem on their hands with this one. I love this. She's going to be a big time player in the Knockouts division. Well done on TNA. And what I liked about this segment, because obviously we got Order 4 interfering, and this was heavy Tasha Steele as it should be. And please, let's get this woman back into main event status like she should be. She showed a lot of edge, like we know Tasha Steele is going to show. Man, this was awesome. She clocked her, which I'm not condoning, but it's going to lead to a match, and I need to see more of Jonna Stone, and certainly need to see more of Tasha Steele's on my screen. So this was good.
Yeah. I've been a fan of Jada Stone's work for some time. When I heard they signed her, I was like, yeah, she's gonna be good because she moves like an X Division wrestler when you really see like her stuff.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's about time they kind of put her back on TV and stuff. So yeah, she excited to be on the roster, and then of course Mustafa always have to interrupt whenever he's in a bad mood, always have to interrupt and stuff. Uh, oh, King of the North said, "What's my favorite Jada Stone match?" One that's a good question. I think she faced Lena Cross this one indie match. I'll get back to that later, but yeah, Mustafa, being the arrogant prick he is, interrupting, and then when Jada, stepped up to him, and then of course, press secretary Steels, she's not afraid to get her hands dirty, and then yeah, like you said, clocked her, and then after that, yeah, Elijah, came by to lend a hand, and so yeah, now it's announced next week. We're gonna have a mixed tag match, so that should be interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And again, it continues. It just adds people to the feud. It seemed like a natural way to go with Elijah already fusing with Ali. Yeah, I really like that. Real quick to what King of the North
Oh,
said.
sorry. Yeah. Oh, my bad. To reply to King of North. Yeah. I remember she was in DPW. She had this match with Queen Aminata, and obviously, yeah, I think at the time, yeah, Aminata just got signed to AEW, and I figured like, like Jada Stone's very impressive, but yeah, like you said, TNA has a good catch. But you're saying,
And to King of the North's previous point, he was just saying that are they going to set Hotch up to confront Ali? They could go there, but I do still think that before that happens, and if it does, they need to put the TNA tag team titles on the great hands. I just think it's been time. It's time now. But yeah, that's where I would go. All right, Shane says R.I.P. DPW.
DPW,
yeah. That's and again, King of the North. I'm really glad to see him in the chat tonight.
Yeah, thanks to guys for joining us. I know it's 12 midnight here in the east side, but like thanks for joining us.
He asked if Bill, thank you guys from wherever you guys are joining us, especially the East Coast, where it's much later, especially for me on the West. I don't know if Bill Collier's wrestled Agent Zero. For those of you who don't know his name, I don't think he's wrestled a singles match. I know he's been in the ring in tags match before because I've seen him in his gear, and not just in the suit. I don't know if he's had a singles match.
He technically had one. Back when they were doing this USA versus Canada events back in May. I don't know if you remember.
Okay, no, I don't remember that, but okay.
Yeah, it was they were doing like a USA versus Canada thing. I forgot what it was called. Border Wars, border something. Like if you guys can.
Oh yes, I remember that border wall. Like I think it was with PW or something.
And this was pre Agent Zero. So like he was representing Canada. Then I think he faced Callahan.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, he's someone that I remember watching on AEW Dark. He was someone that I felt like TNA should keep a look at. I'm glad he's here. But.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, next we're gonna move on to what I would. Yeah, I know where this is gonna go in the chat, especially with guys like Miguel and Shane and there, our buddies who are gonna roast. If we had Elena Black taking on Ruthie J, first of all, I would maybe I would probably think about bringing Ruthie J, and she had
one half of my. Oh, so no, continue too. Sorry, continue.
No, say what you're gonna say, Io.
I was gonna say one half of my dream match that Miguel mentioned. Yeah. Yeah,
I saw that. Ruthie J, I was someone I would TNA should take a flyer on, maybe not bringing her now, but someone I would look at because she impressed me. She had a lot of star potential, a lot of star power. She looked like someone that could be somebody. It was Elena Black taking on Ruthie J, and let me just say, one, I said a few months ago, I think we're like however long when Elena Black was in TNA last wrestling for NXT, she looked better than she ever looked in NXT in terms of ring wise. But I didn't think this match was terrible. Her finisher looked not bad at all. Like I didn't see too many things that I was like, oh man, that sucked. So, okay. Damn it, Shane. Yeah, no, I was fine with this match. It didn't offend me or anything. You know what I mean? So I don't know what people want. I'm not saying she's the greatest wrestler or Shane says she's the modern day Manami Toyota. No, I didn't say that. But I'm just saying, what do you think? Was this match terrible? Am I
like I'm with you. I think like it was meant to be short and quick, but like because like I mean, I think yeah, TNA is doing right. They're not trying to expose her yet or so. Put her in like put her in like these long matches or so because basically she right now she's a name like that's kind of like why they're that's like kind of like why they're
Yeah,
bringing her
that's
in. She's
obvious.
she's how to put this. I mean, obviously when with Daria Ray on commentary, like she's gonna be like protected so to speak, like like her most protected talent so to speak. I mean so to speak, but yeah, yeah, very short match. I'm with you with Ruthie J. She's a very impressive, up and comer. She was from NWA and stuff. I think I wouldn't mind if they brought her back. She's very impressive. So but yeah, but back to Elena. I think they're doing right because let's be honest, she's gonna be in more segments than she is wrestling matches. And that's not a knock, but it's just kind of how the way we're seeing. But it'll be
Sonya.
interesting.
Oh, I was gonna say, sorry, sir. I was just to say Sonya is to uh Helena Black what Karen Jarrett was to Gail Kim those years ago. You know what I mean? When Karen was
Yeah,
running the
pretty
knockouts.
much.
Yeah, Sonya. That's her basically her handpicked talent. And all I'm going to say,
Teacher's pets, basically. Yes.
yeah, Elena is again. Elena is clearly a name to them who they think are going to attract. Let's just say more audience. You know what I mean? So yeah, again, I'm not saying that she's blowing me away out there. You know what I mean? This I'm just saying that this match was whatever. You know what I mean? I didn't blow me away, but I didn't hate it. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, just real quick, we had a Hardy's promo with more stuff with the Righteous. I thought we were kind of over this because I certainly don't want to see a match with the Hardys and Righteous again. We're just for the have the Hardys win because I don't think the Hardys are dropping this house to Righteous. That's certainly where I would go. I just fucking said that the Great Hand should win it. I could name a bunch of other teams that should win besides the Righteous that need that. But again, this was fine. The Hardys know how to cut promos. They've been in this business for however long. So this was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like as I mentioned in the past, yeah, the Righteous, like they're kind of like a very weird group because like okay, at first you want to help the Hardys. To even so, like you're willing to kind of like surrender your match at Genesis, basically, or so. So that's why I kind of say like I don't think they're the ones that are going to dethrone the Hardys, despite what something. But it's just kind of interesting where we're going to. I guess we might haven't. Here's what I'm predicting. Maybe they're going to do like an 8-man tag match in the future. The Hardys teaming up with the Righteous, and that'll be strange within itself. So we'll see. King in the North said, "Yeah, Jeff, Jeff looking like he's reading off cue cards behind the camera." Listen, Jeff's been through enough. Like,
Yeah.
y'all gotta just cool off the guy for once. For once. Oh, you're saying, bro?
No. That made me laugh. I agree with you on that. Yeah, just laugh the man.
Has Jeff ever been great at? Oh, sorry. I'm reading. Antonio's saying, has Jeff ever been great at cutting promos? Yeah, I mean, heel Jeff Hardy, Hardy when he was in his main event run. Yeah, like I said, he's been through enough. Like he's had some good times, bad times, but like I'm just saying, like it's a miracle that here he's still kicking gear. So yeah, and he just had neck surgery, I think, from what I'm reading, but.
Oh, I did not know that. And if that's the case, he seems to be moving.
He had some type of surgery. I can't remember, but yeah.
For a guy who's older 40s, he's moving very well for being older 40.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just move into
maybe that's why Matt does most of the talking, King.
Oh.
All right, you continue, brother.
No, I think Jeff's a better promo as a heel than a face, but I definitely think Jeff he's cut good promos. It just all depends on the situation. But I'm not saying, yeah, like you said, he's not the best promo. I think no one's going to say that. Okay, let's move into the what I would call the show where I'm going to be really fucking pissed off. Let's just say it rather way. I'm going to put this our good buddy Mike's tweet. Message on the screen, then you can see where I'm going.
Yeah.
If you didn't watch a show, and if it's not news now, Steve Maclin got fired. He got the fire briefcase.
Yeah.
There were good things. Like I'm totally with King of the North. Obviously, it should be written on the wall that Trey Miguel is the new that catches in for the international champion. That would be a very good feel good moment. You had mentioned Eddie Edwards moving up to the main event. He did get the world championship briefcase. And then for the X Division shot, Eric Young. I didn't see that, but that's certainly something. Eric Young wasn't fired, which some people speculated. But I just wanted to get your overall thoughts, Io. What were Maclin fired? What the hell?
Yeah, what the hell? Like, what? I'm like, what the hell? Really? Seriously? Like, it's just. I know, like, people have been kind of like predicting, but also wishing it didn't happen, and then it's just like, here it is. Oh man. That's the thing what I don't like about this concept. I mean, it's a fun concept. The Feast are fired, but it's too WWE like Money Bankish, but like also at the same time, like they do this for a reason to write off someone or someone's actually leaving and blah blah blah. But to see Steve be on the recipient end is kind of crazy. But I will say this that I don't know what's the future hold, but I will say this: I'm very glad we had him on the roster. He's a very excellent talent. Like everyone that praises him rightfully so. He's a very great talent. World champion and a 2-time international champion, and like it hit Tom Hannafin hard. Like I think that's kind of what got me too when Hannafin got emotional. Yeah. Mentioned, yeah. Tom was crying, on there. It just kind of hits you hard, like wow. It kind of, even like, it just kind of like shows like how much pressure like people were like bugging over this feast or fire thing for like throughout 7 days. Everyone was talking about the briefcases and stuff, and then but yeah, I'm trying to think of what else words to say. Yeah, I mean it's been talked for a while. Yeah, his contract was coming up and possible extension talks and stuff. So, again, not much going there. But I will say this. Yeah, Maclin. Whatever he does next, whatever it does next. Yeah, he's gonna be fine. Like he's gonna be fine. Like as our buddy Mike Gilbert, like to mention, like he's in a good spot. He got good friends and other places. His wife, works in AEW, Ring of Honor and stuff. So he's gonna be good. But I will say, like throughout the night, we had him for 5 years. Wow. Yeah, we had him for 5 years. Yeah, throughout the whole 5 years, I enjoyed Macklin's work. And I'm a big Punisher. As I'm a big Punisher fan. Like when he always put that face paste on, like I just kind of feel it. Like him and Frank Castle, like kind of almost similarities in some sort. But like but I will say and he completely reinvented himself. Like nobody talks about the Forgotten Sons or Steve Cutler or whatnot anymore. But Kane said, "Did he win the exhibition?" But no, but he was in the exhibition for a short period. And honestly, that was the briefcase I was hoping he would win. Like, I mean, going in, I thought it was going to be Eric Young, like because I thought they were going to do the whole him with this whole cleanse and stuff, and then kind of like add into the whole kind of add a little layer into it, like so. You got any other thoughts?
Yeah, I'm completely gutted. You know what I mean? And I hear some of our buddies in our group chats and on in Twitter kind of saying that they think this might be a work, especially the way Hannafin was selling it.
Yeah, I was
The
gonna
only,
get into
thing
that.
the only reason I would disagree is because it seems like this could be something that, there were rumors months ago that Steve Maclin had signed a short-term deal. I think I saw like something like 3 or 6 months. Even if that was real, let's just say it was or it was. But 3 months, if it was 3 months, that's not a long time. And this seems like something that could have came in with the opportunity of 55, something that could have came of late. And it just seems like whether he got rid of TNA on his bio, his message tonight about, I think he said like taking bookings, whether that's something that usually is, you've seen in a work. This just seems like he is done. You know what I mean? And it sucks because I just don't see. And yeah, we see people talking about money and how much money they have. I just think that, and he has been there for 4 years. I think they maybe look at, like we talked earlier, they have a lot of young talent coming in. And while I think it's a mistake to let a guy go who was one of the backbones of this company, I don't know what they're thinking, because I think it's a stupid move, frankly. They should have kept this guy. They should have given him, they should have rewarded this guy. He's been one of the people carrying it. And for them to, if this is it, it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've been hearing. Yeah, I've been hearing too. There's maybe could be a work or storyline or whatnot. Well, we'll see. We'll see. In the coming days when we kind of like settle in from or so. But yeah, King and Nor mentioned, yeah. As fans who cover this promotion, who we think steps into the Macklin spot. I think one of them would be Trey, because I think TNA is in a position right now, like they have to kind of they kind of have to like elevate Trey into like elevate in the position. Yeah, real quick, we'll say yeah, Trey got the international title shot, Eddie got the world title shot, EY got the X Division title shots. Yeah, we'll see. If one of them actually wins a championship. But yeah, to Macklin, yeah. Yeah, I'm with you, Bird. Like, yeah, I'm word for word. This kind of sucks. Like, I think TNA needs to kind of like sit back and understand, like, hey, like, you gotta have like as good as the Hardys and the Nemets, uh, you know, like some guys, some familiar faces on your roster. You also need guys who can be like the workhorse, the waving the flag. Uh, Waving the flag, so to speak, the ones who represent the TNA now. You know what I'm saying? Like not just the Mike Santanas of the world, but so so yeah, we'll just kind of see what goes next. But again, whatever we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what's next for Macklin and stuff. Shane mentioned real quick that his wife Deanna posted something and said, I don't think Deanna would be posting if it wasn't work. Well, this is wrestling, like sometimes the wrestlers want to kind of like I'm not saying like here's what I think. Like if we know something is a work, they will go balls to the wall of trying to like convince, people of this. Because like, you know what I'm saying? Like only a small few people will be in on it. For example, like when Josh Alexander contract expired the first time contract expired, and then everyone was kind of blasting Scott and da da da, like oh man, like he never got the title shot back, and then Josh kept quiet for like a month, and then he came back, and then bam, it was announced he resigned. So I thought that was funny too, because they kind of played the internet a bit, but yeah, we're just gonna have to see what's next for Macklin. So yeah.
Real quick to King of the North question about who do I think could slide in that spot. Agree with you on Trey. I think perfect timing, him coming back solo. I think they kind of continued to where you think he was going to get elevated after his great X Division title run as a heel. I think based on the finish of tonight's match, I think Rich could be a guy because it seems like he could
Rich,
be a resurgence because he looked the best Rich has ever looked, and it's no secret, he's in the best shape of his life. They've mentioned that, on commentary, that's kind of been a thing that they're running with. And obviously we know like Ali is that next guy. We predict he's going to be the guy who takes the title off Santana eventually. And I mentioned in the beginning of the show, I think Bear Bronson is somebody who they have really big things for, especially they're going to make up for how they did not book Jake properly.
Yeah, Rich, I agree with Rich. If he can like keep his head straight and stuff, like I think he can be a top workhorse for the company and stuff. I mean he's already done almost everything, world champion, X Division champion and stuff. So yeah. So Trey and Rich are some names to answer King of the North's question that can possibly fill Michael's spot.
So before the main event, we just had a quick segment. Obviously, Eddie Edwards kind of putting Santana on notice. I liked how Santana said that he ran through the system before. He'll do it again. I'm looking forward to this one because now Eddie is, I would say, the leader of the system. So this will be good when we get this match. I don't think Eddie's going to win, but it'd be, I wouldn't complain if Eddie won. Another short time around. I think he deserves it. He would be a guy I wouldn't mind getting. I would never have a problem with Eddie being the world champion.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. This is gonna be when this eventually happens. This is gonna be a good challenge for Santana. Eddie's one of those guys. Like he's great. He's great to work with. Good. Bring the best out of you. Like. Mm-hmm. Like any Eddie Edwards match that you can find, whatever and stuff, like it's gonna be a good one because he's really that good. And it makes sense him being the spokesperson right now with the system. Mm-hmm. So, and also it kind of increases the target that Santana has because not only Edwards, but he still has Nick Nemeth to deal with eventually.
Yeah. Okay, next week, and then obviously we talked about it. Hannafin was really selling the Steve Maclin being fired on commentary. I think some people are thinking it's a work based on that. Again, I'm not going with that just because I think that there's too many signs pointing to that he's leaving. But if it is a work, I would love Steve Maclin back.
Yeah.
Okay, next we're going to move into, again, main event. Obviously, this match delivered. It over-delivered. This was a banger. We had Rich Swann taking on AJ Francis in a no-holds-bar match. Man, this match fucking ruled.
Yeah.
You had it was put together perfectly. There were spots of the match, whether it was AJ Francis kind of like stomping on him. He had the chain to choke him. He was using the chairs, really just hitting him with it when Rich was in the trash can. But then you had Rich, it wasn't all him just getting his ass beat the match. You had spots where it was, especially that finish with him just piling the chairs on AJ, hitting him with them, getting the 450, I believe, or the frog splash. But this, I can't remember. It was too exciting. But this was great. I love this match.
Yeah, this was. Yeah, I'm very happy they put this in the main event. Like both guys, this felt like both guys had a lot to prove. Mm-hmm. Especially, both guys, including Swann, and like they pulled all the stops,
mm-hmm.
all the stops as Matt Hardy mentioned, whether it's being Hurricanrana through the tables, getting wrapped around a chain and stuff, or being mauled with being destroyed with the trash can and steel chairs a couple times with Francis and stuff. Like I feel like this was a good way to kind of like put a bow on week three of the AMC area, so to speak. Like
mm-hmm.
Yeah. and it kind of, and also I like what TNA's what doing. It kind of blend in, like everyone's capable of being in the main event or opening the show. Like I said, they could have just put Nick Nemeth on the main event, or Nick Nemeth, because he's a known name. But at least I like to kind of blend in. Like this match is too good that it deserves to be the one to be the one to take us home, so to speak.
Exactly.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm watching. Yeah, sorry, I'm watching some highlights too of it. Yeah, some good sequence. Yeah, Rich Swann. What more to say? One of the best out there. And AJ Francis once again proven he is, like he is one to keep an eye on, to keep talking about, and keep your eyes on. But yeah, this is a great one, great one for both guys. Your thoughts?
No, them putting in this match was great. That's why I think Rich, you kind of heard maybe Rich might be on his way out. This is you want to culminate a feud. This match deserved to be in the main event. The way Rich was booked, do you think that he's like not moving on from TNA? He's moving on from this feud, and they have big things for him because they made Rich look like the top guy that he was when he was world champion. Yeah, like you said, like if Rich, it's all up to him, but I would love to see Rich back near the top again. I'm a big fan of his.
Yeah. I would say this for Francis, because like not only he pissed off Swan, but he also pissed off another former first class member, Casey Navarro. And I think Casey's coming back soon, so I think we're gonna probably get a Casey and Francis feud. So I would think, but I'm hoping it's just as good as this one we saw.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the good thing about AJ. He even as a heel, he elevates. He elevates whoever is on the opposite end, and he's obviously he's not afraid to kind of gloat about like, hey. Like funny how this guy gets over when he works with me, type of thing, and like
yeah. No, AJ's really good, and
it'll be interesting. And our buddy Mike Gilbert mentioned like if the ratings keep a little are good or so. I mean, we're not rating experts obviously, but like if things go well for week 3 or so, AJ Francis is not gonna we're not gonna hear the air at the end for Francis, but yeah.
Yeah, I think this show.
Oh yeah, he should. Yeah, he should. He should pat himself on the back tonight. This was a good one.
I think this is another success show. I would call it just as good, if not better, than last week. I know the Steve Maclin thing sucks. I'm pissed, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna downgrade the show's rating too much because of that. This was a really good show, and I would hope for a really high rating. And we're not experts like you said, but again, I think this gave people a lot to like, especially like you saw last week. There was more of an angle show with a good amount of wrestling. This week was heavy wrestling. For the fans of wrestling like myself, I really like this show.
Yeah. If this is what we're getting on a weekly basis, I think we're gonna be all good.
Real quick, obviously we go to the back. Rich has helped the back.
Sorry, one more time. And we're top trending too, so I guess we're on the right path. So, yeah.
Hell yeah. Exactly. But we go to the back and we just kind of see Kazarian waiting for Sonya in her office. This ended very on a cliffhanger. That's how you should end a TV show. Mm-hmm. You didn't interrupt the match. You let the man celebrate, walk to the back, and now we have something to think about for 7 days until next week's show. Again, this was a solid 8.5 out of 10 for me. I love this show.
Yeah, top to bottom, had a good time tonight.
Exactly. All right, well, that much pretty much wraps up, you guys. I want to thank everybody for joining. Yeah, man, TNA's really putting that first episode behind them. Again, 2 back-to-back really, really, really good shows. I expect nothing but the same next week. I'm looking forward to it. I just want to remind everyone to make sure that you guys like and subscribe to this video to make sure when you're notified when we go live or whenever the many, many great people of Bodyslam go live. And with that being said, have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Bye. Take care.